Partners in Ministry, a presentation of Josiah White's Quakerdale Foundation, dedicated to growing ministry support networks, introducing people to a cause that connects with their heart, bringing hope and encouragement to our communities as we seek together to serve as Christ serves.
Welcome to Partners in Ministry. My name is Dan Smith, and today I'll be talking with Roxanne Petersen, the Executive Director of Atlas of Central Iowa. In this interview, we're going to explore who they are, what they do, and how we can get involved. Welcome, Roxanne, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Roxanne, this is great. I'm really excited about Atlas, about the possibility of, or the way that we are partnering with you in this ministry. And I am pretty sure that most of the people that are in our listening community probably have no idea about you at all. So we're going to explore, first of all, who you are as individuals, what it is that's motivated you to get behind this ministry. Then we'll talk a little bit about the kinds of things that you're doing, the way you're accomplishing that. And then we're going to finish with an invitation on how individually we can join you in this ministry. So let's start right off with that first one. So who are you guys? What is it that ignited this passion in you to do what you're doing?
Well, I happen to also be the founder of Atlas. And so, I've been a single mom for quite some time throughout my life. And I had went to a single mom's retreat, and God just spoke to me there. I've been in social work for about 21 years now and have counseled families and children out of the juvenile justice system. And I have been a substance abuse counselor. So, but God was leading me in a different direction as far as a faith journey. And so that's what kind of led me to this, was just a calling to do something for the greater good and to please Him.
That's great. I know as I was looking at your brochure, one of the things I noticed is, first of all, Atlas. And of course, the first thing I think about is, the guy with the big bowl on his head, holding up the world, whatever. Obviously, that's not necessarily you. That actually is an acronym. So what do the letters ATLAS stand for, and how does that help inform us and understand a little bit about you guys?
Yes. So Atlas stands for Attaining Truth, Love, and Self-Control. And, I'll kind of go into, what that means back to your question of who we are. We really envision Atlas as a community effort to come together and just reach out to those who are hurting and who are struggling, to use our own life skills, our faith journeys, and how God has led us throughout our lives. I always use my own personal story when I'm mentoring individuals, as well as my professional background. Connecting with these individuals in such a intimate way is really, it just really transforms lives.
Sure. It sounds like there's a component of this is very much in your guys' heart, that you want to create a shared journey rather than being those that are experts and have the answers, and you poor things that don't know how you need to learn what we've learned. It's more like, hey, you know what, been there, done that. Let's do this thing together. Is that kind of a good way of taking a look at it?
It is. It really is. Our mentoring, we call, spiritual mentoring is what we call it. And we really, we just focus on that faith journey, and mentoring here is the heartbeat of Atlas. I mean, it is what just makes this ministry, the connections that we are establishing with people, even on the first day, for them to have a place to come and feel so welcomed and feel loved. A lot of the families and children that we work with are really struggling, and they're just really needing someone that they can feel safe and comfortable with, because people with trauma don't necessarily feel they have a safe space. So we try to provide that as much as possible, and knowing that they can come here. They don't have to have a church that they attend. They don't necessarily even have to have faith. I mean, that's really kind of the beauty of Atlas, is that they get to come here and walk alongside of, mentors will walk alongside of them that have had some of those similar experiences as they have, but have had that faith journey to walk in, and then now have that the ability to share their story and how God has really transformed their lives.
Sure. That sounds like very similar to why I enjoy working with the foundation, is that we're not about trying to promote faith. Faith is what motivates us to want to help people where they're at. And it sounds like that's very much the same way of how you guys are seeing things as well.
Yes, absolutely. You know, we anybody that is involved in Atlas, life has not always been easy for
Mm,
them, you know. And again, I always go back to my own story, you know. We all face trials and you know, tribulations in our life, and we're just looking for something, you know, to just keep us going and hold on. And for me, that just happens to be my faith and my walk with God. And you know, we here believe that we're spirit led. We believe when we're mentoring people that the spirit is leading us and guiding us in
mm,
that relationship. And so, you know, that's so important, you know, with those relationships. And it's really beautiful to see people that maybe necessarily don't have that walk yet, and they're still willing, they're hungry for it. Like they're willing to work with us and knowing that we're just everyday people like they are. And we just want to support them in this journey, so they someday can go out and do the same thing for someone else. And that's really the community piece to this, is just coming together. We're non-denominational ministry, so we just want to pull everyone in. This is an opportunity to not only transform lives, but honestly transform a community for the greater good.
wow. Well, that's a big goal, and that's pretty lofty. How in the world are you pulling that off? What are the things that you're doing that you're finding that are helping you make that a reality?
Personally, I will say, just grounding myself first and foremost, in my faith, being honest and open and allowing myself to get to that vulnerable place with my mentees. Um, Again, it's just so important for them to know that, you know, I've walked a journey too, and you know, we don't disclose everything, but when the Holy Spirit leads us to share, we share. And so, again, in that, I mean, just that alone just really grabs that personal relationship piece. And they look at you as a regular, real person, you know, that we're not some experts in the field. And we tell them that. And they appreciate that.
Yeah. I remember when I was pastoring a small church in Applington, it didn't take me very long to learn that after a short conversation, um, the variety of things that people need, I would need a staff of about 40 or 50 people. So I know you're not that big yet.
Yeah.
So how in the world are you able to um, help people through so many different things that you're going to uncover with just so, I mean, it's basically you and a few volunteers, right?
Correct. Right
So
now,
how,
yes.
how are you pulling that off?
So one of the things, you know, I think that has truly benefited, you know, Atlas, um, is that some people that are serving on our board, you know, have come from a social work background, as well as myself. So when this, you know, started and began, one of the things that was nice was already having those established connections with resources in the community and the outside the communities. And so that really, quite honestly, was a pretty easy part. So when I do have individuals that come in here that, once I've assessed them and you know, they want that mentoring piece and they'll get that. And but however, we will also refer them out. So if they're struggling with their mental health and I feel like, oh, you know, maybe you would benefit from, some counseling in that arena, then we will go ahead and refer on. We have actually established, a relationship with a mental health provider, that actually lives in our building currently. So that has just been a blessing. So they just get to, you know, come in and see me. And then if they need that, then we can just walk them right down the hall. And they get to also, it feeds into that personal connection. They get to meet the therapist even before they choose to commit, which is, pretty unique, that you don't see a lot of agencies that have that, unique piece, to it. So,
Sure. So what's happening is that you are finding that it's in many cases, you are the entry point for people to find some of the help that they may need from some professional type of services that are in the community. So you don't have to do it yourself. You're just connecting with them, and vice
absolutely.
versa. I would think that the people that are providing these kind of services that are looking for a relational mentoring type of relationship that they can't do through their professional service can say, hey, you need to connect with Atlas. I mean, these are people that'll just walk the walk with you. And so it's kind of like this collaborative work between the two, it sounds like.
It is. It is. And again, I always go back to, this just being very spirit led. And the more and more that people are hearing about Atlas, things have picked up pretty quickly here in the community and the surrounding communities when they find out who we are and what we do, and that relational piece. They do. We get referrals from schools. We get referrals from hospitals and clinics. I get lots of questions actually from other agencies that just appreciate how we're rich in resources, and they appreciate that. So I get a lot of that too. So it's been really beautiful that not only just that, mentoring piece and being a relational ministry, but also how well the other agencies that are serving in the same communities have reached out and just really want to walk alongside of us so that we can better serve those who are in need.
Sure. So it sounds like one of the biggest ways that I could get involved, a part of Atlas, would be to be a part of this whole mentoring component. I would think that's probably one of the biggest ways to get involved.
Yeah. Um, we always need volunteers. We do host several events throughout the year. One of the biggest ones is that celebration banquet that we have at the end of the year, where the donors and our volunteers, and our board members get to meet those that we've served throughout the year, and we just get to celebrate them. Like, we get to celebrate their journeys. I am a firm believer that everyone's story needs to be heard. And
Mm.
so that's the other beautiful piece to this, is that this is an opportunity for those who have just worked so hard and like transforming their lives and allowing the Holy Spirit to work in their life, to share that journey with everyone. I'll tell you, last year we did that, and I'm not sure there was quite a dry eye in the room. It's pretty powerful. I even, excuse me, but I even get emotional talking about it because it's just so transformational. And
Yeah.
I'm so honored to be able to be a part of that, like that these individuals are allowing us to get that close to them and allow us to administer them and walk with them in that journey.
Yeah, realizing that you are not the only one that is going through something that you're dealing with right now is so comforting. I remember when we lost a baby due to a miscarriage years ago. One of the things that the hospital did is they had a community burial memorial type of service for all the people for the last 3 months that did that, and that was so comforting to be able to go there and see. I mean, there was like tens and tens of couples of all different ages and sizes and shapes and colors and backgrounds and whatever.
Yeah.
Was like, okay, we didn't really do something wrong per se. It just, that was just one of the life experiences that we're going to add to our little placket that's going to help shape who we are and hopefully allow us the opportunity to turn right around and encourage somebody behind us that's going through the
Yeah.
same thing. Say, hey, you're not the only one.
Yes. And, this last year has just been, the last 2 years has been pretty tough, just going through COVID, and, our mental health and substance abuse rates have just skyrocketed. Suicide rates have gone up tremendously. And, again, it's just another reason why we need to be here. Last year, we don't typically charge for our services. If we were, they're about $60 per session, and we usually do once a week and an hour a week. And if they need more, obviously, they can come and they can receive more. But last year we were able to serve, I think it was 140, I do believe, individuals. Don't quote me on that, but we gave away $118,000 worth of services last year, to those who are hurting and in need. And that, encompasses young children, college students, I think our eldest fella that I had the honor of mentoring was 68 years old. And so, I know sometimes people think they don't have something to offer in those mentoring relationships, and you would be surprised how you can connect in those ways. So, I try to explain that to people, not to let that be a barrier, because we all have God-given gifts, and then we just have these natural gifts, right? And you get to take those and bring those to life. And you never know what that looks like through the eyes of another person. You might just been that one person that just saved their life through that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you hinted at it briefly. I saw that you've got a tree in your office, but it's not a money tree. So I mean, if you're not charging all the services that you're doing, how in the world are you funded then?
Well, again, I'm just going to go back into like what our vision is. We envision this. It's a community effort, and so we try really hard to embrace those in the community that are believers, but also just have the ability to be able to give to this organization. We really we really need that, because that just is, again, bringing together us as members of the community that just want our community to grow, and we want people to bring their children here and raise them here, and have a place to go. Atlas is a place to go during the day when you're hurting, and when you try to get into a clinic, you have to make an appointment. You can just walk in here and you'll be administered to. And so, again, I'll just say, encompassing that community piece is, when you're a giver, Atlas becomes yours too.
Mm.
And that's the beauty. I mean, this is for everyone, because no one, and I think COVID showed and proved that, right? Like, no one was free of the anxiety and the fear of the unknown. We all needed each other.
Mhm.
And that's what this is. It's just encompassing a community effort to be able to help raise funds if we have givers, but everybody gets an opportunity, a hand in this and an opportunity to be involved.
Sure. So where are you currently located, and how far is your reach from that center point?
Right now we are currently located in Iowa Falls, Iowa. We're about 45 minutes kind of in the middle of, like, Waterloo, Ames, Fort Dodge, Mason City, which is a pretty, it's a regional area. So a lot of providers from those areas actually provide services in Hardin County. And we've partnered with several of those agencies as well on behalf of those who are hurting.
So most of the people that you're serving come from either Iowa Falls or the Hardin County area that you're working
Most
with.
people, yeah, most people do. We do serve people outside of the community. Um, it's ever changing each day. The more that people are getting to know who Atlas is and what we do and who we are, they just keep coming.
Sure.
So
So I can volunteer and be a part of your mentoring group. I can obviously make a donation with
yeah.
what I'm doing. Is there any other ways that we can get involved with Atlas?
Yeah. We currently have board positions that are available. Um, and so we're looking to fill those. You can always, even through internships, we have those opportunities as well. Right now, they are not paid internships, but it is a really nice opportunity. I think beforehand, you're going to school, maybe getting your prerequisites done, and you're thinking, I want to go into the social work field, or even just with a touch of ministry. This is a really good opportunity to come and just get those basic learning skills, and really honestly just see if it's something that really kind of sparks your heart and that you're interested in.
Sure. So if I'm a person out there and I've heard about Atlas and I'm thinking, I could probably really use a connect with you guys and make myself available to some of the mentoring and services that you offer. What would be my first step? What should I do?
Your first step would be to either call the office or contact me through email. I like to drink coffee, so if they're in the area, I typically like to meet at our local coffee attic and enjoy a good cup of coffee and a muffin there. But also throughout this rest of this year, we'll be hosting some opportunities for individuals in the community and outside of the community to come and just, meet me and really just learn more about Atlas on a more personal level. So they have an opportunity to ask questions and then talk about more ways that they can get involved.
Sure. Well, if you want to learn more about Atlas, or if you've got any questions, be sure and get a hold of Roxanne. Her information is on the screen right now that you can see. It's also in the show notes that comes along with this episode, or it's on the blog on our website. She would be more than willing to, to visit with you. And by the way, the coffee addict that she's talking about is not with a D, it's with a T.
Oh, yes.
And it's on Main Street. It's on Main Street in Iowa Falls. For the longest time, I just thought that's where you officed out of. So,
yeah, I love it there.
So Roxanne, thank you so much for just taking some time to visit with me today. And I know that we'll be praying for you, and anything we do to support, we want to do. So thank you so much.
Yes, and thank you for this opportunity. I know on behalf of myself and our board of directors, we greatly appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, you are welcome. We're excited to partner with you. And thank you for joining us today. And so until next time, let's get out there and serve as Christ serves.
This has been a presentation of Partners in Ministry, a podcast of Josiah White's Quakerdale Foundation. To learn more and see the show notes for this and other episodes, visit our website. To stay informed of up and coming broadcasts, subscribe to our e-newsletter. To invest in our mission, donate today.